तच्चित्तम् अक्षोणीया सखी जनैः श्रीभद्रोवाच पिता मे मातुलेयाय स्वयं अहूया दत्तवान् कृष्णे कृष्णाय तच्चित्ताम् अक्षौहिण्या सखी जनैः श्रीभद्रोवाच पिता मे मातुलेयाय स्वयं आहूया दत्तवान् कृष्णे कृष्णाय तच्चित्ताम् अक्षौहिण्या सखी जनैः श्रीभद्रोवाच पिता मे मातुलेयाय स्वयं आहूय दत्तवान् कृष्णे कृष्णाय तच्चित्ताम् अक्षौहिण्या सखी जनैः श्रीभद्रोवाच स्वयं आहूय दत्तवान् कृष्णे कृष्णाय तच्चित्ताम् अक्षौहिण्या सखी जनैः श्रीभद्रोवाच पिता मे मातुलेयाय स्वयं आहूय दत्तवान् कृष्णे कृष्णाय तच्चित्ताम् अक्षौहिण्या सखी जनैः श्रीभद्रोवाच पिता मे मातुलेयाय स्वयं आहूय दत्तवान् कृष्णे कृष्णाय तच्चित्ताम् अक्षौहिण्या सखी जनैः I'll complete the other verse. अस्या मे पाद संप्रशो भवे जन्मनि जन्मनि कर्मभिर्ब्रह्म यमानाय येन तच्छ्रेय आत्मनः. Please repeat after me. Sribhadra vacha. Sribhadra said, Pita, Father, me, my, Matuleyaya, to my maternal cousins, Swayam, of his own accord, Ahuya, inviting, Dattavan, gave, Krishna, O Krishna, Draupadi, Krishnaya, to Lord Krishna, Tat, absorbed in whom, Chittam, whose heart, Akshohinya, with an Akshoni military guard, Sakhi Janai, and with my female companions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. Sribhadra said, my dear Draupadi, of his own free will, my father invited his nephew Krishna, to whom I had already dedicated my heart, and offered me him as his bride, and offered me to him as his bride. My father presented me to the Lord with an Akshoni military guard and a retinue of my female companions. My ultimate perfection to this, to always be allowed to touch Lord Krishna's lotus feet as I wander from life to life, bound by my karma. Please repeat after me. Sri Bhadra said, my dear Draupadi, of his own free will, my father invited his nephew, Krishna, to whom I had already dedicated my heart and offered me to him as his bride. My father presented me to the Lord with an Akshoni military guard and a retinue of my female companions. My ultimate perfection is this: to always be allowed to touch Lord Krishna's lotus feet as I wander from life to life, bound by my karma. Report. Translation and purport by the followers of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. With the word Atmanaha, Queen Bhadra speaks not only for herself, but for all living entities as well. The soul's perfection, Shreya Atmanaha, is devotional service to Lord Krishna, both in this world and beyond, in liberation. Sri Jiva Goswami comments that although in civilized society it is normally considered disrespectful to publicly speak the name of one's guru or husband, Lord Krishna's name is unique. The mere utterance of the name Krishna is commendable as the highest expression of reverence for God. As the Svetasvara Upanishad 4:19 states, Yasya Nama Madad Yassaha, the holy name of the Lord is supremely glorious. Om Jnana Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurumile Tamena Tasmai Shri Gurue Nama Shri Chaitanya Manustam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Akadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Uttarapadakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhavaitam Sadhavitam Shri Bhagana Sadhavaitam Sadhavitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurani Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpavisha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavane Bhyo Vaishnave Bhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschal Destarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are all assembled this morning here to glorify Lord Krishna and his devotees, obviously, and all of you are devotees, and I also ask for your blessing so that I can recite and glorify the Lord and his pure devotees in the way which is most appropriate. I'm also learning in the process, and I need all of your blessings. So here we are reading on the title that Draupadi meets the queens of Krishna. And where are they meeting? In Kurukshetra. In Kurukshetra, everybody, as we know, have assembled during this auspicious time where everybody is assembled to pray and get. Most of them are there for worldly benefits, but they are also Krishna's devotees there. Like we, in the earlier chapters, we read about Lord Krishna's devotees from Vrindavan. They were there. And then they met one by one, they met Lord Krishna, and then the others, the kings and their subjects in all different states of India, they all assembled together, or states of the world at that time, they all assembled together during this auspicious time of a unique eclipse. So they all there, and here, after meeting one another, and the Krishna's assembly has moved to the Kauravas, and they met Draupadi, and the Pandavas, and obviously some of the Kurus who were there. So Draupadi is interested to know more about Krishna. Draupadi is a pure devotee of Krishna, as we all know. That the relationship between Krishna and Draupadi is that of, as they say, that Krishna, she is Krishna's Sakha in a normal, or what you call the eternal status. She is Krishna's Sakha, but here she is attending as Krishna's Bhaktini, and the Sakha was also devotee of Krishna, obviously, as we know. So she is interested to know how all the other queens of Krishna met him, and what is the pastime, and how they attained Krishna in this lifetime as their husband. So as we earlier read from, I believe, earlier verses, that who all are Krishna's main queens, the queens, you could say, queens of Krishna, the most important queens of Krishna, beginning from Rukmani Devi. And Rukmani Devi is none other than Lakshmi herself. And they have all sometime or other wanted to meet the Supreme Lord, or wanted to attain Supreme Lord in their previous lives as their husbands, or as someone who they could save in the position of their wife, his wife. And Lord has provided them with this opportunity to be saved by them as the husband. So here, Draupadi being the person who is trying to get or inquire from all these wives of Krishna, it is not only for her, it is also for us. That what is their position when it comes to Lord Krishna? Their relationship with Lord Krishna is his wives. So one after another, the queens of Lord Krishna, they are speaking. And Rukmani here, we read in the earlier verse. Let me just get where we were. That is in verse 8. And how do they speak about Krishna is not that they are, as in the normal course, we would say that yes, they are talking about Krishna as their husband. They are talking about Krishna as saving Krishna. They are talking about Krishna as being servants of Krishna. As we read here, for what Draupadi says, in the last line of what she has spoken to Draupadi about, Rukmani says, "May I always be allowed to worship those feet of Lord Krishna, the abode of Goddess Sri." And she is Goddess Sri, obviously, isn't it? She is Goddess Sri. She is the incarnation of none other than Lakshmi. And Lakshmi in her daily life, she serves Lord Vishnu in her everyday life. She is serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And that is exactly what she is doing here, and that is exactly what she is talking about. And she is glorifying her position as well as Lord Krishna's position by saying that the abode of Goddess Sri, that is the place where she resides, that is the place where she wants to reside. And may I always be allowed to worship. She is praying to Krishna to stay there in that situation, to stay there as a devotee of Krishna, and not anything else, but just saving the lotus feet of the Lord. And she is saying that is the abode, that is the place where she wants to be, that is her natural situation, that is her natural position. And similarly, when we go to the next verse, which is 9, Satyabhama, who is another queen. We will briefly talk about the queens later on. Satyabhama is also talking about, she is saying that fearing the consequences of his offense, my father offered me to the Lord, even though I had already been promised to others. So here, she is saying that there was such a situation that the father was afraid of the consequences of offense he had done to Lord Krishna. And what offense had he done? he had blamed Krishna, that Krishna has killed his brother. His brother was killed by a lion, and then he was carrying the Samantaka jewel, and that is what attracted this lion in the forest, and he killed the brother. And then he took this, when he took this jewel, then it was noticed again by Jamna later on. So we'll talk about that later. But then here, she's glorifying the Lord. That yes, the offense was created. To undo the offense, what did Satyajit, the father of Satyabhama, what did he do? He offered the Lord Satyabhama just to make for what mistakes he had done. So he is also glorifying the Lord in that sense. She is also glorifying the Lord in the sense that yes, Krishna was falsely blamed just to undo that the offense. The father did, what the father did was offered the daughter, and also he offered the jewel to Lord Krishna. And then Jamati, how does she glorify the Lord, and what does she talk about Lord Krishna? She is most pleased to talk about Lord Krishna, that I am simply the Lord's maid servant. That is how she glorifies Lord Krishna, and that is how she glorifies her position. I am simply the Lord's maid servant. You know, when we talk about when you ask someone about something, they only want to talk to you about what they're feeling really good about, isn't it? When someone has been through some good achievement, we talk to them and we ask them how you feel about it. They'll only talk of what they are feeling really good about. And here the wives of Lord Krishna are talking about, I am simply the Lord's maid servant. They are not talking about, I have got such a magnificent castle given by Lord Krishna, or I have got so many maid servants serving me. They are not talking about all that. Why? Because those things are not important in a devotee's life. What is important in devotee's life is recognizing who we actually are. Recognizing that we are servant of Lord Krishna. You know, that is what Mahaprabhu says, that is what Mahaprabhu is telling us. And going forward, Kalindi is none other than Yamuna River, isn't it? She is in the goddess form, and she is also married. She is also married Lord Krishna, and she is saying, now I am engaged as a sweeper in his palace. Now, as we know, Kalindi, why do devotees want to take a dip in Kalindi? Is that she takes away all the karma, good karma and bad karma. As we know, why does she take away all the karma of the devotees? Is because they don't want us to come back into this material world. Even if it's pious activities, she doesn't want us to stay here in heavenly kingdom and fall again to this earth. You know, she is looking after the devotees of Krishna. She is a servant of Krishna. And in doing so, in saving Krishna, she is also saving the devotees. And that is the way it is said that Kalindi saves the devotees of Krishna. And here, how does she herself say, how does she serve Krishna? Now I am engaged as a sweeper in his palace. And she is feeling good about it. And we read in the verse that it's against our culture to talk about our husbands, like the ladies to talk about their husbands. And it is considered that they don't take the name of their husbands, isn't it? That's against the tradition of Hindus, I'd say. And then here they feel pride in taking Lord Krishna's name. Why? Because it is not that there is no offense created. Krishna's name it is Krishna's instruction himself that those who take my name come to me, isn't it? Those who pray, those who listen to me, those who chant, as we all chant. What do we chant? We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That is Krishna's name. You know, everybody has a right to chant Lord Krishna's name, whatever is their position. So here, these wives of Krishna, although they are in a position of being wives of Krishna, they feel pride in saving Krishna by taking his name, by preaching his name as well. So here they are telling about Krishna, that how they are saving Krishna. And that is Kalindi. And furthermore, Mitra Vrinda. Mitra Vrinda is also one of the wives of Lord Krishna. And how does she feel proud about being in that relationship with Krishna? May I be allowed to save him by washing his feet life after life. Whether we are, whatever situation we are with Lord Krishna, we are supposed to be in the position, or we are supposed to know that Jivan Soga Krishna Nityadas. So we are servant of Krishna. Only Krishna is the Purusha, the rest of creation is Prakriti. And the wives of Krishna, they don't have to be told about them. They have that eternal realization that yes, this is who we are and this is who Krishna is. And this is our position and this is how we are going to save Krishna. They don't have any confusion at all. And here we are reading about Satya. That was verse number 14. In verse 14, Satya, who is another wife, she is also asking for that position to remain with her, which is, may I be granted the privilege of saving that Lord. She's saying about her father, then he took me away with my maidservant and the full army. That was the father who was given that to Lord Krishna. The 14 is defeating all the kings who opposed him along he just took Satya, the queen Satya from the father, and because she was, in here, the father had, in the Swayamvara, had 7 bulls. And these 7 bulls, whoever prince comes and defeats these 7 bulls and fights with them in a fair fight, then only they can get married to Satya. So here Lord Krishna went, and other princes came and they all got defeated. Krishna comes and he easily subdues all the 7 bulls. And then Lord Krishna is taking the hands of this Satya in the marriage. And then, she's telling, and thus he purchased me with his Bala. Then he took me away with my maidservants and a full army of 4 divisions, defeating all kings who opposed him along the road. May I be granted the privilege of saving that Lord. So, while telling this story, the history, how she became the wife of Lord Krishna, she is also glorifying that what is their position. And they are feeling proud about it because they know what their position is. Now, today we are reading about Bhadra. And Bhadra is also one of the queens of Lord Krishna. And here, the father had given the hands of the daughter together with a military as well as a whole group of retinue of companions of the princess. And when she took all that together with Lord Krishna, how does she consider her position? My ultimate perfection is this: to always be allowed to touch Lord Krishna's lotus feet as I wander from life to life, bound by my karma. So here, what sort of karma is she talking about? That we will also talk about. She is not talking about that being entangled in this karma. She is talking about having to do the service of Lord Krishna, having to do service to Lord Krishna's devotees. Here today she is talking, glorifying Lord Krishna to his devotee. The devotee is Draupadi. So she is saving Draupadi as well as saving Lord Krishna. And by saving the devotee Lord Krishna, Draupadi, she is glorifying the Lord. She is glorifying Lord Krishna. So in doing so, she is talking about wandering from life to life. A devotee of Krishna does not want to go to Golok Vrindavan or to go to the abode of the Lord. What do they want? They only want to surrender to the Lord. They want to have that position of surrender to the Lord. And wherever Lord, whatever situation Lord gives them, they are happy with them. Because they are pure devotees of the Lord. Whether the Lord's plan is to send them to hell, whether the Lord's plan is to send them to heaven, whether the Lord sends them to this material world, they have no qualms, they have no complaints. Why? Because they are situated in such a place, they are situated in such a circumstances that materially nothing affects them. in bodily pains and pleasures does not affect them, does not disturb them. Because they are pure devotees of the Lord. Anywhere, everywhere they go, they are devotees and pure devotees of the Lord. You know, we all aspire to go to Golok Vrindavan. You know, because we are fallen souls, we don't know that if we don't go there, we may be entangled in this material life. We will be entangled in karma again. We may be entangled in such situations where it will be, we won't get this human birth again. We are worried about all that. And that is what our acharyas also tell us, that is, it's a big worry. You know, we are not up there. We are not pure devotees of Lord Krishna. We need to have that realization. You know, our acharyas also talk about that. Like talking about Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He considers himself to be equal to a worm. You know, he considers himself to be so fallen. You know, so that is, if we are chanting 16 rounds of the Maha Mantra, we all know for how many rounds or how many mantras even we pay attention. You know, as we're supposed to pay attention when we are chanting Lord's name. Do we have that realization that nothing else matters? Only chanting matters when we are chanting Lord's name? Do we have that realization that nothing else matters? When we are sitting with our japa weights to do 2 hours of chanting, are we only thinking this is the only thing which matters? Nothing else matters? No, we are not there, isn't it? We are not there. Only thing that matters is our relationship with Krishna. But here in the material world, even when we are doing our chanting, we are thinking of how our day is going to turn out. We are thinking about our job, our customers. We are thinking about how I'm going to get the next dollar for my family, isn't it? So we are entangled in this Maya. We are entangled in this material world. We are entangled in our senses. And that is the reason why we need to bring our mind back. When we are chanting, bring our mind back that yes, I am chanting. Let me allow these 2 hours to connect with Lord Krishna. And these wives of Lord Krishna, what are they asking for? To remain in this situation, to save Krishna in the way they are saving. That is all they are asking for, and that is how they are glorifying Krishna. And that is their knowledge sharing to a devotee. That is how she is sharing knowledge, not only to Draupadi, she is also sharing that with all of us. So here, when Krishna's devotees, we're talking about Draupadi, she is meeting all these queens of Lord Krishna. So what is she asking for? When we meet as devotees of Krishna, when we are coming into this temple, now what are the lessons we learning from this? You know, Draupadi is not asking them, how are you? How did you come here? Why did you come here? She is asking, how did you get into this relationship with Lord Krishna? Such an elevated position of being wife of Lord Krishna. You know, what is the lesson we should learn from these associations? You know, even when Lord Krishna is present, there, everybody is trying to look after welfare of Krishna. How is Krishna? They share their love with Lord Krishna. But when Krishna is not there, how do they share love of Lord Krishna? How do devotees share love of Lord Krishna? By talking about Krishna. That is how they share love, because that is the only thing which matters. So here, they are not talking about, Draupadi is not asking them about any news, any current affairs. No, she is not asking them about whether they are okay or not in their life. She is not asking them. You know, she is not even asking them what is their position in the home, how many children do they have? Because that is the common topic of mothers, isn't it? How many children do you have? She is only interested to know about their relationship with Lord Krishna, their relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is none other than Lord Krishna. That is what they are interested to know. And that is our lesson from this. Draupadi is interested to hear about Krishna Katha. So what is better than knowing how Krishna got his 8 principal wives? We are learning this Bhagavatam, we are listening to this Bhagavatam. Why? Because we want to learn about Krishna. Especially this 10th canto is all about Krishna's pastime. We are so fortunate to be sharing these pastimes of Lord Krishna and his most close associates. In the previous cantos, we learned about other incarnations of the Lord and how other devotees saved the other incarnations of the Lord, or how they were fit to be glorified, how other devotees are fit to be glorified. We read in the previous cantos. But in this 10th canto, we are so fortunate that we are sharing about Krishna and his very close associates like his wives. And also talking about us who have heard about Krishna's Katha through Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we get together, we talk about what we heard this morning in Srimad. What was the topic in Srimad Bhagavatam today? Are we asking that when we meet another devotee who has been fortunate enough to be in the morning class? Are we asking that? So here we heard about Rukmani. When Rukmani was young, her father used to get all these devotees of Krishna passing by, and he used to save all of them. And when they had come into his association, he'll ask about Krishna. And they'll talk about Krishna. He'll want to know more about Krishna. And Rukmani had the opportunity to listen to all this katha, all these glorifications of Krishna. His Leela in Vrindavan and what he's doing in Dwarka today, in the current times. What is going on in Mathura when Krishna was there. How did Krishna release his parents from captivity? She was listening to all this Krishna katha. And that is how she fell in love with Krishna. Only through the katha she fell in love with Krishna. She didn't have to see Krishna to fall in love with Krishna. And Rukmani, when her father wanted to get her married to Shishupal, she was most saddened by that news. And when she was saddened by that news, because she is the devotee of Krishna, they know how to get out of certain situations. And they work, because Krishna within our heart also guides us, isn't it? Chaitya Guru, Krishna is also teaching us from inside our heart that what is the way to get out of this. And from there she writes a letter to Lord Krishna that this is the situation I am in. Can you get me out of here? She had never met Krishna before. Only Krishna she had met was through her ears. She had heard Krishna Katha. And then she was writing this letter to Krishna, and she is thinking of all the way she could get out of that place. She could get out and be in association with Krishna. And she is writing this letter and giving all the directions to Krishna. That this is how you are going to get me. This is where at this particular time you are going to come and get me, Krishna. She's so confident. She's so confident that yes, but then there is a doubt. As any devotee or any lover, going to that level, even as when they are thinking of their lover, they are thinking whether this plan is going to work out or not. But here Rukmani is confident. That is why she is writing every word, that this is how we are going to execute this this thing that she is doing. She is planning her own runaway from home. She is planning it and she is directing Krishna. But when you consider it's a relationship with Krishna, so the guide is Krishna, isn't it? The guide is Krishna. Because Krishna within our heart is guiding. So she wrote every direction and she sent the letter to Lord Krishna. And when Lord Krishna got the letter, he could not sleep that night. Considering that we are an insignificant jiva, we are an insignificant soul, and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has got so many devotees, talking about just devotees, and then he has got devotees of so many different levels. While he is in Vrindavan, he's in Dwarka, he is also thinking about his devotees in Vrindavan. Not only one devotee, not only his parents, he is thinking of each and every devotee. And when is he thinking of them? Not one after another. He is thinking of all of them at one time and at every time. And similarly, when he is thinking of his devotees in Vrindavan, is he not thinking of Rukmani when he gets the letter? No, he also thinks of Rukmani. And he is thinking of Rukmani in a way that, oh my God, this girl has given me all the directions and what to do. She is definitely serious. He gets that message that because Krishna knows everything. He knows where his devotees are. It doesn't matter that when she was hearing of Krishna Katha in her childhood until his time for marriage, Krishna knew. Krishna comes in words in his Leela as well. When we are talking about Krishna here, we are reading about Krishna here. Krishna is present here. In his name, in every word, wherever we see Lord Krishna written, that is Lord Krishna in his form. In his form as Shastra, in his form as written text. That is Krishna. Krishna is spiritual. Whether we talk about him, whether we write about him, he is present in every alphabet we are writing. That is how Krishna is different from ordinary souls. Krishna is different from anything and everything else. Because he is the Supreme Lord, he pervades everywhere. He pervades in each and every heart, as we know that. And that is Lord Krishna. So here, the similar stories are shared by the other queens as well. So we need to discuss more about Krishna, and that is Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 10.9, he says, Mat Chitta, Mat Gata Prana, Bodhiyanta Parasparam, Katyantascha Mam Nityam, Tushyanti Cha, Ramanti Cha. The thoughts of my devotees dwell in me. He is proclaiming that. The thoughts of my devotees dwell in me, their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So here we are enjoying talking about Krishna. Similarly, everywhere devotees of Krishna are, they are talking about Krishna, and the enjoyment comes from Krishna Katha. And how does Krishna Katha come? When we are eating something, how do we enjoy the food which we are eating? We are getting the taste in our mouth, isn't it? That's how we are enjoying. When we are eating gulab jamun or anything favorite we have, any favorite food we are enjoying, getting the taste in our mouth. When it comes to Krishna Katha, the Shravana, the listening, the hearing of Lord Krishna's name, that is what is going to give us that same taste. That same taste. For taste of her, this is a taste of a higher level. This taste is of the level of transcendental taste, which is coming into our ear, which gives us the taste. In our heart it comes, and what does it do? It cleanses our heart of all the anarthas, of all the material desires which we have. What is it that is keeping us in this material world? What is it that is keeping us entangled in this Janam Mrityu Jara Vyadi? What is it that is keeping us coming into this world, life after life, millions, trillions of lifetimes? What is it? It is a jnanta, it is contamination, material contamination which we have got accumulated over millions of years. Even as we say, when we go down the street, we see someone's good house. How do we look at it? Oh, I wish I had a house like this. Can I build a house like this for me? Those are material desires, isn't it? Then what do we think about when we go to work? If I could do this thing today, that thing today, and then it doesn't happen today, then it goes into our heart, and those desires remain in the heart until that gets fulfilled. And that is the contamination which we are hearing, life after life. I'm just talking about a few moments. How many anarthas, how many material desires we create as we walk along our street, as we walk along alone, or as we move even coming from home to the temple. How many desires we create. That is the kind of corrupted mind we are carrying with us every day. Morning, night, evening, every moment, every second. And to get out of that is the association of devotees. What is the association of devotees? When we are talking about Krishna together. That is the only thing which is going to free us of all the material desires which we are so contaminated with. That is the only thing which is going to take us out. Association of devotees. When we are reading Prabhupada's books, that is associating with Prabhupada. That is also association of devotees. When we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam shlokas, that is associating with Krishna directly. That is the association which we need to get out of this entanglement. Now, when we get in association of devotees, the important things which we need. So here Prabhupada also says, there is no surprise that all the devotees, Prabhupada, when he started ISKCON, they were all young devotees. They were all very interested in knowing what is Prabhupada doing. They are all very much interested in knowing about Krishna. Who are we praying? Who are these deities which we are praying day, night, morning and evening? Who are these deities? They had that inquisitiveness. They wanted to learn about that, and that is what these young devotees, when they wanted to learn about Srila Prabhupada and about what Srila Prabhupada's instructions and associations were about, they were cleansed of their anarthas. Considering what sort of background they came from the background of taking drugs, going socially. They were rivals, social rivals. They did not want to follow the social system. So what they were doing when they were sitting and eating in the streets and sleeping in the streets, they were like fed up of the wars that was going in Vietnam and all that. So they wanted something different. And Prabhupada not only gave them something different, he gave them something which is going to have taken them out of this material world, which has taken them out into Krishna Bhakti and into the life, eternal life. Not only they were sleeping, and then when they came into Krishna consciousness, don't forget that they were not just inquisitive, and they were some of them were coming from a background of like millennia families. They were very well regarded families in terms of opulence, material opulence, but they did not have access to Krishna's name. So when they were there, when they were hearing about Krishna, they were getting out, they were being cleansed of their material desires. They were being engaged in seva of Guru and Shastra and Lord Krishna himself. Also, they did a lot of austerity. What was the austerities they went through? We all know that when they got together, although they came from good families, they were sleeping on the floors. Even when they were traveling, they'd sleep. They'd sleep in the airport for hours, wait, and Prabhupada, then they had Prabhupada is coming. They'll sleep in the airport, outside the airport. They'll get chastened by the securities. They'll still go out, few steps away or few hundred steps away, and then continue their chanting, continue their kirtan while waiting for Srila Prabhupada. So those were the enjoyment they were doing, but that was all austerity, isn't it? They did not step back up their legs and go, this is a very difficult place to be. They did a lot of austerities in the name of Guru and in the name of Krishna. The fruits of their hard work, the fruits of Srila Prabhupada's hard work, we are all enjoying today, is coming from their austerity. It's coming from the hard work they have done, not only Prabhupada but his initial disciples. Srila Prabhupada's goals were to take most people out of this cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. That is how Prabhupada was going to follow the instructions of his Guru. The instructions of the Guru was to go and educate everybody else outside of India about Krishna. And he took that to his heart. And today it fructified, isn't it? We all know that fructified because he took it very seriously. The process of hearing we are talking about, Shravana. So the process of Shravana, that is the only thing which is going to cleanse us out of our anarthas, as we talked about. From the 9 processes of bhakti, the first process is Shravana. And if we are lucky enough, then it is going to take us out of this material existence. Now Prabhupada also, when he reached there, he wrote Margine Bhagavata Dharma, he wrote about that. And in the last verse he says, Bhagavatar Katha se Tava Avatar, se Tava Avatar, Dhira Ega Sune Jadi Kane Bar Bar. That means, excuse me, the words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. So the same goes for us. In our day-to-day life, to attain love for Krishna, we need to hear about the Lord again and again. Also, the potency of Krishna's name through chanting. And what is the chanting? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We need to keep chanting and listening repeatedly again and again. What, 16 rounds? No. That's the minimum 16 rounds. We need to chant as Prabhupada and our Guru said, minimum 16 rounds in a day. And that is what is going to cleanse our heart. And as these queens of Krishna, they get their relationship with Krishna through listening. That is how we are going to make our life successful. I will read the verse again so that we can reflect on it, and if there is any questions after that. Sri Bhadra said, my dear Draupadi, of his own free will, my father invited his nephew Krishna to whom I already dedicated my heart, and offered me to him as his bride. My father presented me to Lord with an Akshoni military guard and a retinue of my female companions. My ultimate perfection is this, to always be allowed to touch Lord Krishna's lotus feet as I wander from life to life, bound by my karma. Okay? Thank you everyone. Any questions, any corrections also, because I'm also learning the process. Any corrections, any questions, any doubts or any additions which anybody wants to make? I have left out many things there which I want to talk about. Constantly we have limited time. Any questions? Good. No? Any comments? Okay, we conclude the class here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidai Gaur Premanande.